Christian here, back from CNH Small again for another informative repair video. This video right now deals with this tractor I got in front of me right here. It's a John Deere 100 series tractor. You can probably buy, I think, Home Depot and Lowe's out there. Customer needed a machine tuned up for this season out here. Plus, they were having issues with the deck engaging on the actual drive system for the deck to engage down here. It turned out the belt was getting worn on her. It was pretty stretched on here because I had measured the new belt to the old belt right here. It's getting chewed up around the edge, so you can see right here it's getting chewed up on here, and the belt was actually stretched about another, say about a ½ inch than what the new belt was on there as well too. And the belt hasn't been replaced in quite some time with this specific machine right here for that. And the other problem was the blades were not engaged, or I should say the blades, the deck was not disengaging as it should underneath here. And the brakes they have on these machines are a real shitty design. I don't like saying that, but that's what it is on some of these cases out here. Basically, the only thing that the machine has to stop the deck spindles from slowing down is these two pieces right here. And they have a piece of clutch. Looks like a friction type disc material on these things, and this one, it's a 2006, I think 2007 model, and the disc material is basically, these things show here, it's basically worn down on the one side right here because it was not contacting properly for the spindle. On top of your spindle, you have your pulley on here, and your pulley contacts this, and if it's not rubbing properly on here, it won't slow down your deck properly for that. So we had to replace it with two new pieces on here, and the deck appears to be slowing down a lot quicker. It normally takes maybe about, I'd say, 1 to 4 seconds, depending on how much pressure is being put onto the spindle assemblies itself on there, for the actual pulleys on there. Because whenever you're engaging your mechanism up here in the front, this is how, that's how it should be when it's nice and tight on there. Then whenever you're cutting your grass, whenever you're bringing it back down to this position right here, the deck engagement for the brakes, which is spring actuator underneath here, slams these two things against the top pulley and pushes hard on them. And sometimes, some of the cases, starts digging in, as this one is doing right here. The lower part was digging in quite significantly on here. The other side was digging in, but not as bad as the other one was right here. So it's always a good idea to replace these things in unison on here, plus replace the tension or springs too on here, because they can get a lot of crap on these things and they can get rusted up underneath here too. And the customer had a lot of debris underneath there too, so anytime you got a machine that is being heavily used out in your yard, whether you cut the grass 1 time a week or 2 or 3 times a month, always clean out your deck underneath there. If you have an air hose, just like a blow thing out completely underneath there, make sure the deck's nice and clean, because you don't want any grass, debris building up underneath there, because that can cause rust, and all that buildup can hinder the ability for the deck to engage and disengage properly underneath there too. So keep that in mind, and always use OEM parts regardless of their quality, even though I don't particularly like some of these John Deere tractors out there, and some of these other MTVs have similar blade brake systems on there. Sears, I think, probably the worst, because they have a big arm that's probably about that long, and it had the same basic type of material on there. And these general brake designs are real low quality. I don't like telling people that, but that's the case in my opinion over here. The higher end machines simply have a PTO in the front of the engine. They have a PTO clutch. It's an electromagnetic PTO clutch, and basically that acts as the brake for your deck. And you have the deck's under constant tension with a big tensioner spring. You have a big pulley going up to the top of the engine. Your PTO actuates and disengages the deck belt, and it's a lot more simplistic form, except it's a lot more expensive on the one aspect of it, but it functions a lot more flawlessly. I have a MTV Cadet Series 2000 tractor, and it has a electrostatic drive for as well. It has a big tensioner spring on the deck down there. It constantly keeps the deck belt nice and extremely tight. and it has the PTO in the front. It's the electromagnetic PTO. When you disengage that and disengage it, and you re-engage it on there, it re-engages it by you have like a split second. And when you disengage that PTO, it stops the deck in maybe about 2 or 3 seconds on there. Where some of these cheap ones right here might take 3, 4, 5 seconds right there for that. And sometimes if they get worn down, they might take an excessive amount of time to slow the deck down or for that. So just keep that in mind right there. And if you're running into a problem, your deck's like constantly spinning, even though you have your deck disengaged, the engagement and disengagement mechanism on the floor that. And replace your belt maybe once or twice every couple of years, because those deck belts do wear, because if you have a system like this on here where it's constantly being engaged and disengaged, that belt's going to be slipping. Anytime you have something slipping, it can possibly stretch out, and when it stretches, it tends to heat up, and because of that, they tend to burn a little bit of material on the belts on there too. So replace the belt maybe once a season, or if you can stretch it out, maybe replace it every other season out before that. So if anybody has any questions about something like that here, you can give me a call. You know my phone number, or you can leave me a detailed message on my page here if you have anything that's specifically related to decks like this and their issues as of the type and quality of their parts and their goes with them. I'll see you guys.